Welcome to KocoSports Weekly TNA Impact Review. I am the huge one, Dave Coco from KocoSports.com or KocoSports.net. It takes you to the same places where the world comes kick ass, your home for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. And with my tag team partner, the KocoSports TNA expert, see what I did there? TNA expert, my tag team partner, the American Alucard. You can find him anywhere on social media with the Thee American Alucard, which is Dracula spelled backwards. Sadly, I was friends with you for months before I figured that out. So, American Alucard, we always start off the show asking win, loss, or tie. What did you think of this show? Are you giving it a win, loss, or tie, and why?
I'm going to give it a light win because the matches they were good. They weren't pay-per-view quality, but they were just like I'm watching, but I don't want to turn my head away. It's that kind of a feeling from the show.
You know what? I'm surprised by that because I thought I was the only one that felt like that. I'm giving it a weak win just because there was a lot of wrestling. Bell to bell, a lot of wrestling. But I work Saturday mornings in Tokyo when, Impact is airing for the first time, and social media overhyped this a bit for me. They were like, it's the best Impact ever. And I'm like, oh man, I'm so excited. And there was a lot of wrestling. That's why I give it a weak win. There was just a lot of it. You're like, wow, a wrestling show with a shit ton of wrestling. But the middle, it was good start, good finish, and the middle was just kind of like, I don't know if this is the best Impact ever. It was definitely a win if you love in-ring action. Bell to bell, I hope that ain't just a one-time gimmick. I don't understand what the gimmick is. I guess bell to bell is just a lot of wrestling, because I thought they were going to show the full matches. But they still went to commercial in between. So, I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I fell for the overhype train. I just thought it was a weak win. They had some bad parts of it. But going into this show, people were like, this is the greatest Impact ever. And I'm like, all right. So, I fell for the overhype train. But I'm still giving it a win. It's just, the win is because there was a lot of wrestling. There was just a lot of wrestling. So, hopefully they do bell to bell more often. All right, so you ready to break this bad boy down? All right, I thought this was one of the better matches of the night. First off, they added a new thing in the video packages, the cartoon graphic. How do you feel about the cartoon graphic? I was a fan of it, but different people had mixed feelings. Before every match, they showed a cartoon graphic of the matchup. What were your thoughts on that?
Very unique. I don't think it's going to be like a all-the-time thing. I think it's just going to be one of those things they might show every once so often. So I give them props for, trying something new.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but some people, that had such mixed reactions online. I enjoyed it, but I'm just one of those cartoon guys. All right, so the first match is the submission match. You had Bobby Roode versus Eric Young. It's a close match. The referee gets Eric Young taps, but the ref never sees it. Young takes Roode down again by locking in the second figure four, and Bobby Roode taps out. And then they sell the figure fours with the knee pad. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought commentary did a great job tonight. Eric Young wins. I thought this was a great match. I was like, damn, I enjoyed it a lot. I'm not a big fan of submission matches just because sometimes they're not pulled off that well. But I enjoyed this match a lot. I mean, not a 5-star match, but it's like a wrestling show starting with a wrestling match with wrestling in it. I just, a lot of these feuds, I don't know when they're going to end. I'm not as sick of the Bobby Roode versus Eric Young thing, but it just seems like, all right, we have a lot of great feuds. Let's put them all on tonight. What was your overall thoughts of the Bobby Roode Eric Young match?
Well, like you said, it was a good wrestling match. I'm surprised. Well, I'm not really surprised because TNA lets heels get, clean victories, and it was clean, but it wasn't because Eric Young used that that heel pad to get he knocked him out first of all with a jumping heel lariat, and then he put him in the figure four. It's refreshing to see heels getting clean victories at the end of a feud. So often we see feuds ending with the bad, just predictable. The bad guy the good guy wins the feud, and that's the end of the feud. But it just felt good. And then Roode looked good in this match. Both of the guys look good, but I'm more surprised about the EY clean victory. I think that's the whole thing that stuck out.
They still protected Roode with the referee and the knee pad and the announcing, so they still protected Roode. But do you think this feud is now officially over? Do you think this is bell to bell as ending feuds? Because to me, out of all the feuds that look like they might be ending, this one looks like it still has a little bit of life in it. Or do you think they're going to step away and come back to these feuds?
It's the end. Eric Young's moving on to something. He's moving on to somebody with. I just put it like he's moving on to somebody with gold around their waist, and Roode's moving on to somebody else.
Gotcha. So yeah, interesting situation. But they gave it time. I enjoyed it and all that. But you know what I noticed? When matches, and this is just me, I don't know how other wrestling fans feel, but when matches are given time, and they're long matches, I sit down and pay attention. Where, like, if it's a short match in segments, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on MySpace. I'm never on MySpace, but you know what I mean? Like, it depends. Like, when it's like, wow, when you have a feeling that the show's going to be good or the match is going to be good, you kind of like just sit back and like, now I'm going to pay attention to this. And this match had that going for it, and hopefully, the ratings show that. Hopefully people enjoy pro wrestling. Because it's weird, when I watch Raw, I'm in a chat room, I'm in this, but when Impact has a good match on, boom, I'm sitting down watching it. And the same thing with Lucha Underground. So I don't know. I know nowadays with the MTV generation and clicking, people are like, oh, well, you got to have quick segments. You got to have quick segments. You got to have quick matches, or people got to turn the channel. But I wonder with the social media and Twitter if longer matches would actually help ratings. I would love to see if that study is even possible. And even if it was, people wouldn't give the athletes credit. They'd be like, it was the writing team and this segment and that. But I would find it interesting to see if longer matches keep people's eyeballs on the screen more than short matches. So there you go. Because I know my viewing habits. If I know it's a short match, I'm on fucking Twitter. I'm on Facebook. It doesn't matter. So now, something that's heartbreaking. You were about to say something, sir?
No, I was like, because like the matches for the most part on WWE, since they're short, you don't really have any interest in them or whatever. Sometimes.
And a lot of times you barely ever get a one-on-one match. Yeah. It's usually 5 good guys versus 5 bad guys, and everyone's gonna get their spot in, and you're just like, why the fuck? No, I'm on Twitter. Dear at fucking Slammy Hammer. Fucking, that's a great point about how Raw sucks tonight. You know what I mean? Next segment, a little bit sad kayfabe-wise, a little sad kayfabe-wise and a little bit shoot-wise. But I think kind of done well. They did the best they could. American Wolves, basically, Eddie Edwards is the injured one, right? Or is it Davey Richards?
It's Eddie Edwards.
Eddie Edwards with the injury. Sorry about that. I just had a brain fart. Eddie Edwards is injured, so Davey Richards decides to give up the titles and go with another tag team. Cuts a decent promo how they're going to have it. And me, I'm a huge American Wolves mark. I just am. And I knew they had to lose the titles because of injury, and I was worried how they were doing it because, if they just went up and lost to someone, I'd have been pissed. It's weird because this was acceptable, and it was kind of interesting because in this segment you're like, well, who is Davey Richards going to team up with? What are they going to do? And they gave up the titles and said, I'm gonna go for it next time. As a bigger Wolves fan than TNA fan, I know that sounds horrible, but it's just the truth. I was happy with what TNA did with this. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm the only one, because then it's interesting because then the next champs have a tournament. And then from there, as soon as the Wolves come back and the Wolves are healthy, like, bam, they're in a storyline. And I hope Davey Richards gets to go for the X Division title, because that would be kind of interesting to see him in a singles feud, why Eddie Edwards gets better. But Yeah, I thought it was pretty damn good. The live audience bit into it, and TNA was in a really tight spot because they're trying to get more. I believe they're trying to get more internet indie darlings, and if they fucked up the Wolves, I think a lot of the fans that absolutely love the indies would have fucking turned their back on TNA. Like, this is bullshit. But I think they handled it pretty damn well. What did you think? Did you think they should have lost? Should have hit his injury? I mean, I don't think you can hide an injury that big. That motherfucker looked like he couldn't even walk. Uh, I think they handled it perfect. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're trying to be more realistic. The only way they could have done it is like that cash in spot, like James Storm did last year. That's the only way they could have done that. But still, Eddie, not Eddie, but yeah, Eddie would have had to walk to the ring, and the way he was walking on that broken, yeah, he wouldn't have been able to hide the injury bringing to the ring. So the way they did it, very classy. It doesn't make the Wolves look weak. It makes them, look stronger. Like, we'll be back in time. But the big question here is, since Eddie is going to be away for a while, I mean, he'll probably be away like what, a good 6 months, right?
I'm guessing. I'm no doctor, but just pure guessing. A minimum 6 months.
So obviously, not unless they just don't want Davey to, wrestle without Eddie. But I doubt that because they've given him singles matches. They're going to put him in the S division. How big of a push is he going to get in the S division? Because we're looking at a former all-weight champion, guy with credible skills. If he's just doing the 6-month thing by himself singly, you can't really keep him too far away from an S division title shot or even the S division title.
You know what? This is just me, backseat booking here, and I don't read spoilers, so I don't know if this is it. As soon as we get back to America, I would make him champion. Spud is a feel-good story. Maybe let him go 1 or 2 weeks in America. We get it, feel-good story. Boop, put it on Davey Richards, and then while Eddie Edwards is healing, do everything I can to build up the X division. Bring in more indie talent, bring in that. Because right now, low-key, got upset by Spud, which is, okay, it's a feel-good story, but let's be real, that's kind of fucking stupid. You know what I mean? They get a pass because Spud is so entertaining in his home country, But, they got no one. Low-key didn't even fucking walk out with the X Division title. Low-key was like a champion. He's like, oh, fuck, yeah. Like, I just picture, like, Low-key's the X Division title, and MVP looks at him like, motherfucker, you forgot the belt again. So at least they could rebuild it, and he's a believable guy, former ROH champion, and all that, but you could get some great matchups with indie guys that you bring in. Because when it comes to TNA, one thing that pisses me off beyond belief is, I get so mad at Dixie Carter for this quote, when she's like, well, where else can we get talent besides WWE? That was by far the dumbest thing she ever fucking said in my life, because Lucha Underground is successful with indie talent, NXT is successful with indie talent, so there's still guys that you can find out there, you know what I mean? Now, granted, was there 80 billion better guys 2-3 years ago? Without a doubt. But there's still guys out there that you could find and put them in the X division. So it would be interesting. But that's one thing that bothers me about TNA. I know you like TNA a lot more than I do. One thing that bothers me is they don't see the indies, and then when WWE or Lucha Underground make them stars, they're like, oh, well, we'll try to steal them from them. Like, no, you could have had those guys. I mean, what could have been with Impact fucking burns me so fucking bad. But you can change all that. I mean, there's always a turn it around. And one thing that I loved about TNA from day one, literally day one, was the X division. You know what I mean? And I just hope that they can bring it back. So have Davey Richards win the X title, and then just try to find anyone that's not under a Lucha or NXT contract and bring them in.
I think, like, somebody must have gotten in Dixie Carter's ear, and when she said that, they've gotten her to come around and say, look, we can get other people from anytime. We just don't have to rely too much on WWE guys. We're still gonna get them because sometimes, obviously, WWE misuses people and we can bring them in. But see, they've gotten her to calm down. I don't know if that's Al Snow or anybody in the back telling her, expand your horizons.
Because Dixie Carter has done a lot of dumb things.
Yeah.
That is the biggest dumb thing she's ever done. Even the Sports Illustrated interview, which was by far fucking dumb. It wasn't as dumb as that last statement.
The Dave Richards thing. They were already back in America. They just did last time was at Orlando, and
my old home, my old stomping ground. Same thing with them.
The X Division title. I'm not going to say anything more.
All right, no spoilers. No spoilers. We'll see where it goes. But I don't read spoilers. That's why American Alucard reads spoilers. That's why it's hard for him to guess what's going to happen. He's like, well, I actually know what's going to happen.
I have a very short memory.
Gotcha. Well, me too, pal. I try not to read the spoilers just because it would ruin it for me. All right, next you have the Knockouts match. You have Angelina Love versus Gail Kim. I enjoyed this matchup, and Gail Kim gets the win. So basically, Angelina misses a second Botox injection, allowing Gail Kim to connect with Eat Defeat. And by the way, Eat Defeat is by far the greatest fucking name ever for a finisher, especially the way she does it. Like, oh God, I love Gail Kim. The announce team on this one did pretty well, but then out of nowhere they got like retarded. It was like Taz was funny because she's like, all people talk about is Gail Kim, and he's like, I think that's a shot against me. All right, funny joke. I fucking found it to be hilarious. But then like 10 minutes into it, they're still bickering about this shit. I'm like, these are two great female athletes that help build your fucking women's division. Can we pay attention, please? But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent match. Not their best match, not their worst match. I enjoyed it a lot. And it's good to see two TNA originals, and even though Gail Kim's from WWE, she's the original Knockouts champion. It's great to see two old-school, beautiful women. When you ever use old school, you have to have the word beautiful when you're adding women. But bust their ass and have a pretty decent match. And I love the chemistry between Taz and fucking Josh. I really do. But this was a bit much. Like, all right, you nailed the hilarious fucking joke, Taz. Yeah, I'll pay attention to the fucking match. But I enjoyed it. What was your thoughts on the Gail Kim Angelina Love match?
Well, like the bigger, I know what you're talking about when they were arguing back and forth about a champion and being the best or whatever. I think that was. Yeah. I think they were kind of like making fun of some indie. You know how some indie fans or like internet fans, sorry, they talk about you're not the best unless you hold the belt. If anybody who is not holding the belt, they're not a good wrestler. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think they were trying to make fun of that joke.
Yeah, but like, it's one of those things that don't become WWE, and because WWE has a kayfabe problem. Yeah. Whenever someone has a serious conversation with them, they're like, "Oh no, it's pro wrestling. We worked you, brother." But as soon as the camera's on, they're like, "Hee, let's act smart." That's a wink to the smart fans. No one wants to hear that shit. If you want to fucking be smart and make fun of the marks and the fans know too much, do that shit off air. When you fucking turn on a television show, you want to fucking believe in that. And that's one thing that Lucha does great. It's one thing that New Japan does great. No, this is fucking real. You're watching this is fucking real. The problem is, with this segment in WWE 24/7, it's like, oh, hey, we're talking to fucking Triple H. And he's like, hey, brother, everything in that ring's real. I worked you. And then as soon as the camera's on, he's like, yeah, you fucking idiots. You think this is real? No, it's supposed to be the opposite. When your cameras are on, that's when it's fucking real. Just imagine that working in Hollywood. You know what I mean? Could you imagine Tom Hanks going, no, I was really fucking stranded on an island. Yeah, dude, if I could starve to death, man, holy shit, you don't know what it's like. And then, during the movie, go, you fucking idiots. It's just a fucking Hollywood prop, you fucking moron. That's what wrestling does. That's what WWE does, and that's what Taz did. Taz went on a stupid podcast going, everything's fucking real. You don't fucking understand the business. Blah, 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 blah. And then as soon as the camera's on, he's like, fucking idiots. It's not real. No. Let's let and live in where you have, dear Taz and WWE, you have a kayfabe problem. You don't kayfabe people when you're fucking eating goddamn Denny's in the fucking corner doing an interview on SportsCenter. You kayfabe them when the show is on. Sorry, dude. It just fucking bothers me so fucking much because all they do is put a wall around them saying, fucking look how great we are, and it's just like, no, you're not great at your job. Fucking stop saying inside jokes. Stop doing all that. It just fucking, when the camera's on, that's real. When the camera's off, then you don't have. Then that's when you can break kayfabe if you want. But to be like, oh, welcome to the podcast machine. Everything's real. Blah 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 blah. And then as soon as the camera comes on, be like, this ain't fucking real, you fucking idiots. People on the internet are arguing over fucking stupid shit. No. Even David Copperfield. Let's take any entertainment in the fucking world. No one does this. David Copperfield, when he's on stage, is like, no, this is fucking magic. This is real. You go talk to David Copperfield afterwards, he's like, oh, man, yeah, it's not fucking real. None of it's real. It's a fucking magic show, you fucking idiot. When the fuck is WWE going to catch up with any form of entertainment? And Taz, this is a WWE move. I'm not even fucking correcting myself. Congratulations. You made TNA as stupid as WWE. Give yourself a Barry fucking Horowitz. Oh, you fucking know inside information. Jesus fucking Christ. Can you imagine any form of entertainment being as dumb as Taz and WWE? Any. Like, could you imagine? Like, it would be like, let's look at a comic book world. Deadpool. It would be like Deadpool being like on page 4. It'd be like, no, you fucking idiots, it's just a comic, because he always breaks down that fourth wall. It's kind of like his gimmick. And then, like, when you meet the artist, be like, no, Deadpool's real. What are you talking about? What do you mean you want me to sign your shirt? I didn't draw Deadpool. He's just a real fucking person. That's a documentary. You would be like, you're fucking crazy! You know what I mean? But somehow, in wrestling world, because the real fucking loud majority, all these people that pretend WWE and TNA, their success is your success, all these people that pretend they're in the business, you're like, back in 1986, I walked ringside with fucking local independent wrestler B. I know how the business works. That's really the loud. You know, it's just, Jesus fucking Christ, get your shit together. Get your shit together, Taz. Fucking, oh man. It started off funny, went way too fucking long and annoying. Just kind of like, you're not on a podcast, you're not on YouTube. You know, we can be loud and annoying because that's what we do. You actually have to put on a television show for the fucking world, douche nozzle. You want to add anything to Taz fucking kayfabe problem?
Well, you gotta look at something else. Like in the match, did you know? Maybe it's because she's been wrestling a gimmick too long or whatever. You know, really get into that beautiful people gimmick. He's been wrestling pretty damn good, and I don't want to be that guy that she's doing good because of she's dating a dude or whatever. But I'm pretty sure Davey Richards has something to do with her. Has something to do with her wrestling a little bit better now, because he looks like one of those guys that take real pride in his wrestling. He's like, man, I can't have my girlfriend wrestling like a shitbag out there. Fuck that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, within a couple months she isn't doing like kickboxing, you know, doing his type of style in the ring.
Yeah, usually when you're a couple, you do the same things eventually. You know what I mean? It's like, you're like, oh, my husband likes, you know, or my boyfriend likes hockey, so I started getting into hockey. My wife likes musicals, so I went to a couple musicals. You know what I mean? It's just part of being in a relationship.
And
but
in that real spot where they kind of diss Velvet Sky, so I'm pretty sure that's a sign that Velvet will be back. sometime soon, because you said now that I'm free of that burden. Of course, he's talking about Angelina Velvet because she's still fucking with the bromance. So it's not the bromance. She's talking about the only person that left, Velvet. So,
yeah. Well, I hope so, and there's a good chance that they're maybe just trying to shake free too. So, but it would be nice to see her come back and see where it goes.
oh no, it wouldn't.
Next, the worst. Go ahead. You about to say something?
No. Velvet's guy sucks. I mean, not because she blocked me on Twitter. No. She sucks because she's not a good wrestler. Like her blocking me on Twitter, that's got nothing to do with me not wanting to see her back in TNA. I would rather get more.
Who blocked you on Twitter? Angelina Love?
No, Velvet. Like when she got fired
How do you get blocked on Twitter? I don't use Twitter the right way. I never get blocked, not that I know of. Or how do you even know if you're blocked?
Because it says I'm blocked. But the reason I got blocked is, like when she got fired from TNA, right, on the briefcase.
Yeah.
Like Crazy Steve had tweeted out, Velvet Sky, I guess it wasn't meant to be. Sorry about that, LOL. And I tweeted to him and her at the same time, LOL, troll Steve troll. And after that, she blocked me. And Crazy Steve laughed.
Dude, that's just crazy, dude. I mean, first off, if you're that obsessed over social media and someone talks shit, just fucking respond or ignore it. Like, I don't.
It was a joke.
Dude, maybe it's just me. I'm just too lazy to block people. I mean, the only time I block people is like if they're in the YouTube comments ruining a community. But if it's a straight up tweet to me, no one fucking knows. So like someone tweets at KocoSports, you're fucking stuttering and a stupid fucking asshole. I'm like, all right, well, that's that guy's opinion, and scroll down. I mean, because like, here's the thing. I'm nowhere near as popular as Velvet Sky, I assure you. But, dude, if there's like hundreds of them, just fucking ignore them. Like, I think ignoring them is a million times easier than going block. You know what I mean?
But
I don't know. Like, how do you even block someone on Twitter? I don't even know. Like, if someone tweets me, like, at KocoSports, go fuck yourself. I don't even know how to block that person. Because I'm too fucking lazy. The fuck? Just fucking...
Tape show. And it was a tape show so she already had been quote-unquote fired. And Crazy Steve laughed. So I thought everything was, a good joke. You
know what it is, dude? I kid you not. Nowadays, there are so many people that literally treat these people like fucking heroes. Like, I mean, sometimes I go on Facebook and be like, you must respect what they do for us. I'm like, dude, are they fucking fighting on the front line? Did they fucking save me from a fire? What do you mean I have to respect what they do? It's fucking getting ridiculous. There's people that worship them, and not only that, but I was in the wrestling business like 10 years ago. I wasn't a wrestler because, I broke my back and fucking sad story bullshit, but I never wanted to be a wrestler. I love wrestling, but never wanted to be a wrestler. But fucking, but like back then, working behind the scenes, I was just like, dude, how fucking mentally weak are these fucking athletes? Because, once you deal with pro athletes and once you deal with fighters of all different combat sports, you come meet a pro wrestler and meet them behind the scenes, they are mentally fucking weak. They're just not mentally strong people. Then, like, nowadays, though, it's been like 10 plus years that I've been in the business. Dude, it's fucking crazy how mentally fucking weak these fuckers are. Like, I don't know, do you picture Jordan blocking anyone on Twitter? I mean, no, he's got shit to do. What the fuck would Jordan do that? You know what I mean? I do not picture any real athletes or any real celebrities being anywhere as mentally weak as fucking pro wrestlers. It's fucking ridiculously how mentally weak they've become. It's fucking crazy. It's just absolutely fucking insane. Because think about it. Velvet Sky, what? She probably, being a celebrity on national television, what do you think? Maybe 100 tweets a day sent to her? Maybe more. She's a hot chick with tits, so that's got to be. So 1,000 tweets a day. So that means you go through all of them and look for the negative ones and block them? Dude, you got shit to do. Do your shit. I mean, come on. I don't know. I just find it to be, you have to be fucking stronger. I mean, people talk shit all the time. to me, it's just like, hey, dude, fucking, oh well, move along. You know what I mean? I don't know.
But
I don't know. Unless, of course, in her defense, unless, of course, she's dumb and has every goddamn tweet go to your cell phone. Then I can imagine, okay, that's fucking annoying. I don't have my Twitter set up to a smartphone. But like I think a lot of people have it where like if someone tweets you, but even in that case, you're a celebrity. Your phone must be like, boop, 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 you know what I mean?
she didn't block Crazy Steve, and he's the one that kind of made the joke.
Yeah, I don't fucking get it.
But
I just it's just crazy how fucking mentally weak these fucking giants of human beings are.
But
It's just fucking crazy.
The thing I want to say is, it's no disrespect to her, no disrespect, but Kana over Velvet Sky. I would rather see TNA put the money they would use for her to Kana, give that to Kana, or give it to Io Shirai, the new Stardom champion.
Well, didn't they sign Mia Yim?
Yeah, but she's not really a Joe. She's I mean.
Well, no, but she's at least talented from somewhere not named WWE.
Yeah, but I want to see somebody get their head kicked. I want to see a knockout get their head kicked there by a Joshi, or I do want to see Kairi Hojo's super awesome elbow drop.
Yeah, but I wonder if they even know who these people are. Like, I bet you if you went to TNA right now and said, "Oh, you should sign Kana," they wouldn't know who she is.
Yeah, so they will have somebody will have to send her the video. I mean, if I'm sure Dixie Carter or somebody in the back like Al Snow saw a Kana video, they'd be like, "Fuck, we need to get her signed or whatever," because like
I don't know. I think a lot of those guys just protect their spots. Like, I think that's a big problem in wrestling today. They don't want to take a chance on someone, and the reason they don't want to take a chance on someone, let's say Kana comes and it just doesn't get over. You know what I mean? Kana comes over, doesn't get over. They're gonna be like, well, my name's gonna be attached to her, so no, I'm not gonna fucking risk it. I honestly think that today, big problem in wrestling is people care about their spots more than the actual product. Like, I honestly think those former WWE guys, and I don't mean to pick on Al Snow, but those former WWE guys, I think they would rather have a contract and be failing than chance losing that contract and being successful. You know, I don't think anyone, because think about it, Kana, you know, it's Japanese girl, great wrestler, her English skills are, you know, decent, but you got to remember, there isn't. It's so funny because like there's racism in America, but like when it comes to not knowing English, the racism quadruples. Like I met people who are like, oh, I'm not racist. I love all races. And as soon as a person can't speak English, they're like, learn English, you fucking prick. You know, look at the Hall of Fame. They were like, yeah, it's about time we have a Japanese star. Can't believe this motherfucker doesn't know English. And it just, you know, that's a form of racism because, like, if you travel around the world, yeah, there's people that don't speak English and they're acceptable. Like, I would rather live in China, Korea, Japan, and not be able to speak their language than live in America and not speak English. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. So I can imagine there's got to be a big risk there.
Yeah,
but even if you give her a mouthpiece,
comes with promos and stuff. Like it would be, it could give her a manager, but still, it doesn't have the same effect if she was cutting the promos with herself. You know, whatever.
Well, if you have a Paul Heyman, a Jim Cornette, or someone along those lines that could speak, I think it could work. You know, they can't get Paul Heyman, but maybe Jim Cornette, but I don't know if Cornette's the right guy. I listen to his podcast, and sometimes I'm like, sometimes he's like a genius, and sometimes you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, Cornette? But I'm trying to think, like, there has to be a good speaker out there. You know, James Storm is, but it would, I don't know, her and the Revolution might, I don't know, because right now it seems like James Storm is a /wrestler/manager. So it would be interesting. All right, let's talk about the worst match of the night. Worst match, worst feud. You know what? If there's a Kickstarter that these two motherfuckers never fucking are in the same room ever again, I would donate to that Kickstarter. I wouldn't even want my prize. Like, right now, if you're like, oh, there's a Kickstarter TNA started. Bram and Magnus will never be in the same room ever again. I'd be like, all right, how much money can I send you? I wouldn't even, like, even if there was a prize, like, oh, Magnus could sign a picture that says, sorry, about 2014, directly to you. I'd be like, keep the prize. I don't even need your fucking prize. Just promise me Bram and Magnus will never be in it. You know, fuck that. Leave Magnus and leave Bram. We'll keep Magnus. Leave Bram in fucking England forever and be like, you can't be in the same country ever again. Holy shit, has this feud went to horrible, to I'm interested, to beyond horrible. And today was the fucking set off the fucking fireworks. Pew, 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 pew! Worst fucking segment, worst fucking storyline, just horrible all around. I fucking hate both of you. I gave you a chance, you know? I'm like, grits. I don't like grits. Let me pour some Magnus and Bram on that grits. It's a little better. And now I'm just like, fuck you, grits suck. I don't care if you add Magnus and Bram. This was fucking horrible. It was by far the biggest fucking waste of goddamn time ever. And I swear to fucking Christ, if this feud isn't over, I refuse to watch Bram and Magnus ever again. Ever again. They are officially banned. They are fucking horrible together. The storyline is horrible. Mickie James, I never thought I'd say this, but go fuck yourself. Every fucking thing about this match was fucking garbage. Everything about this fucking storyline was garbage. And I gave it a chance. I did. I didn't want to fucking hate it. I didn't want to fucking hate it. I was like, alright, not too bad. A little too much. It's fucking gone. I fucking despise this goddamn storyline. Listen, Bram might be talented, Magnus might be talented, but they bring out the worst in each other every fucking time. Please let this storyline be over. I never want to see Bramness or Magnus or fucking whoever the fuck fuck you. Fuck you. It's over. It's done. I fucking despise every fucking thing about this storyline. I fucking hate this fucking match. And I'm sorry, Magnus. You know what? If you keep acting like this, we're going to have to just admit that you fucking suck. Because 2014 sucked, but we're looking the other way. We're doing that as a favor to you, motherfucker. We thought you were one of the most improved wrestlers of all time. Obviously, I was fucking wrong. You are a horrible fucking human being. Please, let this end. I want to like Magnus. I want to like Bram. I want to be able to masturbate to Mickie James. But no. No fucking more. This feud needs to end. This was just pure fucking garbage. And the biggest fucking garbage is, like, why did Bram just smash his fucking skull in? Why is Mickie... Just why? I wanna end this fucking... Magnus fucking wins. Congratulations. Who gives a shit? No. We're finished. We are done. You went to UK, you tried your fucking little storyline, you try. Alright? We will forgive you as long as you never fucking have this match again. Go fuck yourselves. I hope this fucking feud is dead. Dead in the fucking ground, because it was fucking horrible. Magnus fucking wins. Congratulations. I never want to see these two athletes get a fucking restraining order right goddamn now. A 3-mile restraining order, because you motherfuckers getting that ring again, and no, I cannot. I am officially tapping out. You could ask American Dollar Card. I gave it a chance. No, I am fucking tapping the fuck out. Your wrestling is horrible, your storylines are horrible, and you should feel bad. You should look yourself in the mirror and go, what the fuck have I done with my goddamn life? Matter of fact, go home, Magnus, and apologize to your kid, because some fucking stupid reason your damn kid is in this fucking storyline, and that should be fucking child abuse. Just fucking go home, look your goddamn kid in the eye, and be like, sorry, mommy and daddy failed you. Because this is fucking garbage. The only fucking thing that was somewhat interesting, and even that, like, it was kind of like you saw one of your favorite people go into a fire to save someone, and you're like, oh God, please don't die. Please, just walk away. You saved them. Don't be a part of the fire. James Storm stomps Bram for doing, according to TNA, the unthinkable. fucking what? Stare at her for another 20 fucking minutes? Or you stared at her for so fucking long it made Randy Orton goddamn jealous. James Storm, we love you. We love the Revolution. Please do not go this route. Now, if you want to have a feud with Bram and that's it, hey, more power to you. Fucking save Bram. You're the fucking hero. You're the real MVP. But if fucking Magnus is anywhere near your feud with Bram, no, fuck you, James Storm. I'm fucking done. You could save every goddamn foreigner in the world who can't speak English and fucking also T.J. Perkins. You could save them all, and I'm happy for you. This is one no, the Revolution. There's always room for one more. No, there's not. No, there's not. This feud is. There's no room. There's no room. Your dance card is full. Move along, sir.
Well,
I'm
garbage. I agree with you and say it was the weakest match on the whole entire card. I will give you that.
The weakest match in all of pro wrestling. Go on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
The James Storm thing, I like how they did it was obviously Magnus wins with 3 power bombs and then the spine shaker, aka it's a bad breaker into an alley rock bottom, whatever. And so they're setting up for a James Storm into a Magnus feud. So that gets them apart. That gets Magnus and Bram apart, which I'm sure you're happy about.
I'm beyond happy.
Okay,
no
those are apart, and the way James Storm is, getting over and being more methodical and more. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna say it. He's a better Bray Wyatt than Bray Wyatt. We're gonna be honest about that. He's a better. If people say he's copying Bray Wyatt, he's doing it better than Bray Wyatt does. Especially if the Revolution, the Wyatt family. It's a better Wyatt family because they lose. But as far as being the ambiance, they're a better Wyatt family. Whatever.
You're gonna get a lot of WWE heat from that one, but go on.
What did Bray Wyatt help Luke Harper or Eric Rowan win? Just answer me that. If WWE fanboy just comes on video, tell me what did he help them win? Anyway, so like I said, weakest match on the card, but I guess they had to end the storyline somewhere, and
thank Terry Funk.
I guess they don't bring out the best in each other. They had to start it somewhere, and this might be the last match we see of them. So it was what it was. It wasn't. It was kind of boring, but it wasn't. The wrestling wasn't bad. It just okay. Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got. A7X Wee Man says it was a weak win. The Wolves vacating the titles sucked a lot. Yeah. Clover Cold 89 says win, solid show. Clover Cold 89 also says, have you noticed Magnus changing up his ring style the last few weeks? I think it's a vast improvement. You know what? I don't know. Here's the thing about Magnus. Let's break down Magnus for a little bit. This is just my history with Magnus of view. When he first showed up in the Impact Zone, he was a fucking bag of shit. Horrible. Just horrible. I was there live, and me and James Legend were fucking laughing our asses off about how bad he was. He just wasn't good. You know what I mean? And he improved. I think he's the most improved wrestler in TNA history. I really do believe that. He improved, and he was absolutely amazing. Then 2014 came along, right at Daniel Bryan gate. From that day on, he was just a horrible human being to be around, in-ring wise. And nowadays, with the feud with Bram, I don't know. He's showing potential, like he can be great, but just I don't want to say we got old great Magnus back until his next feud. Like when he has a feud or a match that isn't Bram, then I will tell you if he's back. Because I don't think this is the best Magnus at all. I don't think he's improving. I mean, he's improving from 2014.
Well, that was the booking, though. The booking of 2014, man, that's what really killed him. And Sting calling him the paper champion and then leaving. It's just like, gotcha, bitches, I'm out. I'm Sting. You're a paper champion and your reputation is killed. He was wrestling good, man. It was just like, okay, the wrestling's good, but what are these other 50 people in the ring doing? What's that, Madness? Oh, that's nothing. Yeah, that killed his whole momentum. The Dixieland thing, it killed 2014 Madness.
I want Magnus to be awesome, so I don't want to critique him off the Bram feud. I want to see what he does next, who he fights next, where he goes from here, to give an honest an honest take on him. Because the Magnus versus Bram, it was just slow and boring at most parts. I mean, sometimes they hustled, sometimes they bust their ass, but not this match. So I don't want to say what I think of Magnus until the next feud, because I think that's the only fair way. Because, yes, I don't know, I just was not impressed with that whole feud, and I honestly think he is a great wrestler. So hopefully his next feud gets to show that. All right, thank you for the live comments, Clover89 and A7X Wee Man. All right, we'll try to get to more comments later if we got them. You can also Twitter us at KocoSports or on our KocoSports.net Internet Infantry chat. And Market Garden's just asking if he should watch it. If you like a lot of pro wrestling, I think that it's worth watching Bell to Bell. I really do. So, there you go. All right. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So, let's friggin' rock and roll on this one. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's just... Bram Magnus. Let's get that behind us. Let's just get that behind us. You had Lashley versus Carter. Oh, before we get into the main event, let's talk about one more bad thing. The infomercial for the Ghost Chasers. That was just bad. Did you see the infomercial with the Ghost Chasers?
No, it was only tolerable because of James Storm. We all knew this was coming. We knew this was coming because they're on Destination America. What's Destination America? You know, that's one of their top shows. And you gotta face it, TNA, they're getting an average of between 400,000 to 600,000 viewers. Before they got there, most of their shows didn't peak over 50K. So obviously they would want to. They want some synergy off. They're like, oh, you're on this channel. Put one of our shows here, so we can get some of that ad revenue or that what's the word I'm looking for?
Eyeballs.
Yeah, we want some of those eyeballs too. So you have this gimmick of the Revolution. They're kind of creepy. Of course, you've used the theme. Let's combine these two to give James Storm this more evil, ominous type of gimmick, sort of.
Yeah,
but
I think TNA looked a lot better than them. They're just like, I don't know, like I don't see the benefit for them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe people are gonna check it out, but yeah.
I mean, if Spike did it, I mean, you gotta think about it. Anywhere TNA would have went, they would have went to WGN. They would have had, I don't even know. Okay, that's a bad example because WGN doesn't have original programming. But if they would have went anywhere that had original,
if WGN, they'd probably have to talk sports. They'd have to have Cubs fans and all that.
Yeah, you'll hear like, oh, don't forget to watch the Cubs, blah 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 blah. So it's gonna happen. The only reason like a company like WWE doesn't do it because they have such a huge eyeball basis. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. They don't have to do that.
Viewership.
Yeah, you're right. Viewership. They don't have to do that. So, but WWE does do things like, oh, I'm eating a Sonic burger and it's fucking awesome. Chicken fries. Oh my god, fucking chicken fries.
Oh no, the WWE does it. They usually do it where they swap a guy. So like the Big Show will be on the Arrow or something, and it'll be like, oh, watch the Big Show on the Arrow. You know what I mean? They just take it a step further. Because even CM Punk did a lot of stuff like that. That the fucking Finding Ghost and shit. I never watched those shows, but from what I've seen on YouTube, they look dumb as shit. Are you into the ghost catching shit?
No. I like reality shows. I like not like the trashy ones, but the more of the documentary type of reality stuff. So I
Yeah,
don't.
I'm just surprised no one's called fucking like went out and been called the Ghostbusters, like get the rights, but
Those rights.
probably the Ghostbusters is like fuck that, we ain't doing that shit. All right, let's talk main event. Here we go. We got the World Heavyweight Championship. You got Lashley versus Kurt Angle. I was excited to see this match. I think these two guys, you know, I think Kurt Angle is one of the best wrestlers of all time. I really do believe that. And I think Bobby Lashley has perfected hiding his weaknesses. I don't think he's a great wrestler, but he doesn't expose his weaknesses, which makes him a really, really good wrestler. It was an enjoyable match, pro wrestling match. But at the end, Kurt Angle gets the roll up, and you think, oh, okay, well maybe the feud is ending, but they still made Bobby Lashley look strong because the referee was out of position and his shoulder was up. And I thought it was a pretty good ending. You know, you got a pretty decent match. The champion goes on, and Bobby Lashley still looks strong. I hope they kind of back off this feud for a little bit, just because I'd like to see Kurt Angle take on other people before he gives Bobby Lashley another rematch. But that's just me. But I really enjoy these two wrestlers. I just think they're absolutely amazing. No 5-star match or anything like that, but like I said, this main event and the first match with Eric Young, it had my attention. I was like, oh, I'm just going to sit down and watch. I'm going to put down Twitter. I'm going to put down Facebook. You know what I mean? I'm just going to pay attention. And a lot of pro wrestling these days can't do that. You know what I mean? So I enjoyed it. What was your thoughts on the match and a little bit of controversial finishing?
Lashley has an injury, so I think this is a way to not write him off TV, but get him off TV for a little bit. And the way they have
slow down his momentum.
Yeah, and the way they have rankings, so they can say, oh, Lashley lost, and Lashley lost, so he's bumped down. He doesn't get a title shot until he wins it back. And we can bump somebody else, somebody who had a victory on the show tonight can get bumped up to number 1. Anyway, and lastly, obviously, when he comes back, he'll have a case for it. I never got beat. The stupid referee, blah 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 blah. Didn't see my shoulders, blah blah blah. So it keeps him strong, and he can come back, and get some wins. So it was the right thing to do. I'm not a big fan of the roll up victories per se, but after that, they had it was like a good 20 to 30 minute match, and it was like intense. I can deal with that more than people wrestling for 2 minutes or 5 minutes and then getting a quick cheap roll up victory because you're tired and you're getting that victory.
Yeah, and it told the story, and not like, but when you get a cheap victory 2 minutes into the match, the winner fucking is like, oh, what the fuck? Where if it's a long match, 10, 12, whatever, you know what I mean, a longer match for television standards, you're like, oh, he got a cheap win, but he battled his ass off. That's not his fault,
Yeah, it's like how unathletic are that after 2 minutes you can't kick out of a crucifix pin or a roll up. What's wrong with you, Brass or Brett?
So, all right, let's go. So overall, I think it's definitely worth watching. The middle is kind of the weakest part of the show. Bram is just fast forward Bram. And the opening match and the main event are pretty decent. The women's match I really enjoyed a lot. The commentary should have focused on it instead of, there's people on the internet with opinions. So overall, I give it a win. I think it's definitely worth watching, and hopefully they improve from here. Is this their last show in the UK, or do they have one more? How many more shows in the can do they have in the UK?
No, the last show they had in the UK was when Spud won the X Division title. That show, the show they had, the show we just saw, this was from Orlando.
Oh, this was from Orlando? You sure?
Yeah. Look at.
Orlando looked pretty nice then.
Yeah, because they
did a good job at fucking making the place look nice. I didn't know that. All right, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. Rain Lazy 92 says, decent show in my opinion. I hope Davey gets a singles push or at least matches every other week. I agree with that. I'd like to see him in as X Division champ. Market Garden says, I'm listening, by the way. Good, high five for you. I'm going to download it tomorrow. I mean, legally download it tomorrow. Just helping you out, Market Garden. Sunday to us in Europe. All right. Rain Lazy says the main event scene lacks heels and mid-card lacks spaces. Is this kind of a problem? It can be, but I think you can have where a couple of all you have to do is swap positions. If you have too many people as faces on top, and I really think they have too many people as faces. Not only that, do I think they destroy bad guys, which is kind of bad. I think bring EC3 up to main event and bring a couple of those faces down. I think the Beatdown Clan needs to be rebuilt. The Revolution needs to step it up. I think they have a lot of heels. They're just treating the heels like shit. But yeah, I agree with you. Rain Lazy's 92. I just think I have no idea why EC3 is not a main eventer, unless it's just health reasons. He should definitely be a main eventer. He should be up there on the scene. And then you also have, who is it? Austin Aries. I think Austin Aries can turn heel in an instant. You know what I mean? He's kind of a sleazy face.
He's not really a face. He's a tweener, though.
Yeah, he's a tweener. But, I mean, you could see him as a heel as far as booking goes. But, yeah, I just think move some heels up, move some faces down. I think the reason why they have this problem, Rain Lazy 92, is that they give the faces everything. The faces win way too much. I think Eric Young winning really helps that situation because you could consider Eric Young the main eventer who's being a heel. EC3's health can change that. Austin Aries could be a dick more, and he's kind of good at being a dick. So these problems are definitely solvable. I think one of the major problems why they have this problem is they just ran through the Beatdown Clan like no one's fucking business. You know what I mean? And everyone beat the shit out of them, and I think that's where a lot of the problems come from. So I think it's a very easy problem to fix. Hopefully they just fix it. Boop. Clover Cold 89 says, with the Wolves giving up the tag titles, do you see TNA will sign more tag teams or just random teams together? Great question, Clover Cold 89. Me personally, if I was a betting man, they're just going to throw teams together. That's me as a betting man. Like, hey, this is what they're probably going to do throughout history. But I'm hoping, and what I would do is definitely sign more tag teams. Like, just give Briscoes all the money. Just go to the Briscoes and give them all the money.
Monster.
Young Bucks, give them all the money. But the problem with the Young Bucks is Dixie will have to get off her high horse and apologize to New Japan. If TNA was just an ounce professional, you could have a working relationship with New Japan. It's just sad where that went. But yeah, if it was me, I would just. There's a lot of great tag teams out there.
Or for the Young Bucks, they can wait until the New Japan contract runs out, offer them decent money, and the Young Bucks have said this. They go back to working for TNA because they like being at home with their family and everything. Offer them decent money, close to what New Japan is.
I don't know. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of merchandise.
It's true, but the Young Bucks are going to sell merch regardless. Without
But Bullet Club, they wouldn't even be able to sell Bullet Club. They're going to sell the Young Bucks stuff on Pro Wrestling Tees. They'll probably have Young Bucks and TNA. But that Bullet Club shirt, dude, that's like the New York Yankees cap of merchandise right now. I see motherfuckers wearing Bullet Club on fucking line everywhere, 24/7, and they don't even fucking know what the Bullet Club is.
True, but you gotta think about it. It's so many people in Bullet Club. They really. I have a $35 T-shirt. They aren't getting. Well, it wasn't a T-shirt. It's like $25 or something, right? Correct.
Well, I think for Americans it's $24.99 or $29.99, so it's under $30, about $25.
Plus $2.
I think in England it's around the same price, and in Japan they charge more actually. Like, it's weird because, like, I was looking the other day, and I was like, I want to get a couple New Japan shirts. And I went to Pro Wrestling Tees, and I went to New Japan shop, and it's, I think, $7.99 or $6.99 to ship. And this ain't a Pro Wrestling Tees spot, even though they fucking, I want to buy shirts from them, but still. We have no connection whatsoever. We're just not big enough. Because I thought about getting our own T-shirt shop there, But then they're like, if you can't sell this many shirts, and I'm like, we have an audience, but we're pretty fucking poor. So, but yeah, the Pro Wrestling T guys, like, I'm pretty sure if you live in Japan and you buy your T-shirts, your New Japan T-shirts from America, and pay the $7.99 for them to ship it to you, it's actually cheaper than going through New Japan. Because in Japan, they just fucking charge a shitload of money for everything, and they just pay for it. It's fucking crazy how much Japanese people overpay for everything. It's just crazy.
With the shirt, you got to think about what the price is. How many people are there in Bullet Club? Like, legit people, legit members?
Oh, well, I'm just going to go. Legit members. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. I'm just doing it in my head. All right, probably 8-ish. 8-ish, you know what I'm saying? There's 8-ish, but like 3 or 4 real ones. You know what I mean? 3 or 4 real ones. Oh, no, 9-ish. I forgot about fucking stupid fucking making faces McGillicuddy. So,
but
9-ish.
So if all the Bullet Club members are getting a percentage of that shirt, which I doubt.
Yeah, I doubt the young boys are getting anything.
So I doubt the young boys, even if they are a part of the T-shirt sale, because they were selling the T-shirts, the Bullet Club T-shirts before.
Well, the original Bullet Club was only 3 members.
So I doubt.
Dude, they were making bank back then.
Yeah, so I doubt, even if like Carl Anderson and I guess just Carl Anderson, because he's the only original member there.
No. Big failed chair is the original.
I didn't want to mention him because of that, but
out of respect, I didn't mention him.
Yeah, so even if they did like grandfather in or whatever, the Young Bucks and AJ Styles, they're not getting a real good percentage of their shirt, all as if they're selling their Young Bucks Bullet Club T-shirts that you've seen those, that Styles Club and the Bucks Club. Yeah. So if they were to like go to TNA and they were still selling their pro merchandise shirts, and
well, I know Devitt still gets a cut of a lot of T-shirts, even though he's Finn Balor.
So he's getting that, or the Young Bucks are getting that, and plus you got to think about it, they don't get like together check. They don't get like Van and Nick Jackson. They get a one check. They get separate checks, so they aren't seeing a high percentage. So if they were to go to TNA offers them a decent amount, something at least close to what New Japan is. I'm not saying they could, but whatever. They're making more selling their merch by themselves on both sides, Pro Wrestling Tees and TNA. They get a bigger, higher percentage because it's just them. It's them two. It's just those two. I'm like, it's pretty much like with the Wolves. I'm pretty sure the Wolves make a decent amount off their T-shirt sales because it's only 2 of them, opposed to if they were of a huge faction. So it's all about how Dixie Carter and the other people approach the Young Bucks and when they approach them and everything like that, because they know the Young Bucks, they're family men, and they want to be in the States and stuff like that. So they can try to play off that, use the money, T-shirt sales, higher percentages. It's all about how you work them. If you say like, hey, I'm going to give you a low percentage sale of your T-shirt, that's not going to work. But if you give them, hey, we'll give you 70% of your T-shirt sales and we only take 30, you might be able to get something with them.
Yeah, so it's an interesting situation. I would be shocked and heartbroken if the Young Bucks left New Japan for TNA. I mean, it would be a combination because I just don't see it happening. But it would be great for TNA. I'd be high-fiving like a motherfucker to TNA. But, all right, we got Blood Wolf Assassin. Hey, big fan of the show. Appreciate it. I've just got back into TNA. It's not making it easy to stick. One week they have 2 of my favorites going at it, Angle and Lashley, and the next week the main event. Hold on. Come on, YouTube. And the next week the main event is 2 guys I absolutely can't stand, Hardy and Roode. And I agree, EC3 needs main event push. Yeah, the Hardy and Roode thing, I was shocked that happened. Was it Roode? I don't think it was Roode. It was Hardy and someone else, right?
Wait.
Well, last week, Hardy's Revenge. That wasn't against Roode. That was
James
against
Storm. But
James Storm. Yeah.
it's Jeff Hardy's first return back. He's one of their top guys. They have to put him in the main event, and I guess they didn't want to give the angle thing away just right off the bat in Orlando because to show the tape. And it was a pretty good match last week. So
I hate Hardy with all my fucking heart. Like, it's just like me and you. You're like, oh, it's not bad. I'm like, yeah, it was fucking garbage. So we'll agree to disagree. But Blood Wolf Assassin, thank you, much love. Wrestling Rantin', check out Wrestling Rantin's show. Briscoes are getting it all. So there you go. Just to give them all the money. Give them all the fucking money. Razy Lane, if you're in control of Impact, what wrestlers would you release and who would you sign? All right, I kind of get mad at who you would sign just because we've been doing this TNA show for a long time, and it gets to the point like not even bother. But I would possibly, well, I don't know, because basically everyone that I would sign right away signed an NXT or Lucha Underground contract. But I would definitely try to work something out in New Japan, bring New Japan guys in. I would definitely try to sign the Young Bucks or the Briscoes when they have a chance. I would try to raid Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Ring of Honor, Shimmer. I would definitely try to bring in Kana. Because here's the thing: a lot of people are like, oh, well, you're talking. I live in Japan. They sold out the hall. Like, no one expected that to happen. They sold out the hall. Now, granted, they had some things going for them. It was crazy cheap in Tokyo. I don't want to fuck myself, by raising up prices, but Impact came in and like people bought tickets just because they're like, what? We can watch a wrestling show for this cheap? You know what I mean? Like, the place was fucking standing room only. But also in Japan, they're on a giant television network. I compare it to, MSG in America and New York, they play the Yankees and Mets and all that. At least they did a couple years ago. They're on that. They're on G+, which plays all the Giants games, which anyone that doesn't know about Japanese baseball is the New York Yankees. So they have a great television deal. And not that, but NXT is showed live here because every time Kenta's on. So Japan loves supporting their own athletes. So I would definitely work out New Japan deals, get Kana, and all that, because even though Sonata is good, it's not up there with Kano or Kenta or someone in New Japan. Well, let's put it this way. I made a video about this. When Kenta went into WrestleMania, people that ain't even wrestling fans were talking about it everywhere. It was just the talk of the day. Like, is Kenta really going to WrestleMania? And they're not even wrestling fans. You need a star on the level of Kenta. And even though Sonata's great, he's not on the level of Kenta. He's not at the level of Kana or Okada or Tanahashi. So, and Muda helped out a lot. TNA was on imagine TNA being on NBC. They were on the free NBC of Japan, and people were talking highly of it because Muda did a documentary, and they followed him to Impact Zone and the Impact when he fought. Remember when he fought Mr. Anderson? That was on free television all across Japan. So there's a huge market in Japan. They were successful. If you just have to make a product that the live audience likes and a product that they like back home. So I would definitely sign a high-level Japanese guy. And I don't mean to knock Sonata. Sonata is, but he's at the same level as Yoshitatsu. People know who he is, but people ain't gonna tune in for him. If they watch TNA, they'll root for Sonata because they have someone to root for. But if they're not watching TNA, Sonata's not gonna be like, oh, Sonata's on TNA. Let me find out where that is. Where Muda was that. Muda's like, no, we're gonna find out where Muda is. But you have that. You had that with Tanahashi. You had that with Okada, but not all of TNA, but most of TNA decided to be racist fucking assholes towards them. And now, you show up to Wrestle Kingdom 5 drunk, you use their talent, and you call, and a lot of people don't know this, so I'm going to give TNA a bit of advice. You can't call a Japanese person a Jap instead of using their name. that's a racial slur, and I know a lot of people don't know that because like I'll see like people that ain't racist go, oh, like the other day my friend was like, I was talking online, he's like, oh, that's why I never see Japs online, and I'm like, that's kind of so like I don't know if they just were being racist on purpose or didn't know, but when you're Okada and Tanahashi and they don't know your names and they're just like, oh, come here, the Jap guy, come here, Jap. Yeah, that's not going to go well. You know what I mean? So they fucked that shit up a lot. But yeah, I would definitely try to sign indie guys and raid them because right now NXT is just gobbling them up. You get a lot of Dragon Gate guys. Like I would say the best free agent a couple months ago was Yuha Nation. Boom, NXT contract. Do you know what I mean? It's just there. I'd love to see Roderick Strong, but can't see Roderick Strong do well in the X division. I think Roderick Strong would have to be like Austin Aries. You know what I mean? That role.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So, and that's who I would try to sign. I think hiding the Indian guys good worldwide. I think the way they book the UK guys are decent. You just got to tighten up those storylines. You know what I mean? And keep Bram and Magnus away from each other. So I think they're doing a decent job. It's just, like, that's who I would go after. Because I don't know what they get paid in Japan. I honestly don't. I don't know if the Japan is just taking them to the cleaners because it's a giant television network, or if they're getting paid a lot of money. But they are on a big network in Japan, and I would definitely get a big thing. Briscoes, Young Bucks. And I would bite the bullet. I would go meet with Muda. I would fly. I'd wear a suit. And I would go to the New Japan offices and apologize for Jeff Hardy, apologize for Beer Money, apologize for RVD. Then I would apologize for the handle of Okada and that. I would eat crow. And that was me. Like if I was Dixie Carter, and granted, I'm not Dixie Carter, I would just go and eat crow. Because you're on a giant network and New Japan's willing to work with you. If not, Kana doesn't have a New Japan contract, and there's a lot of guys that don't. Because their biggest problem with TNA right now is New Japan and NXT. Because every time there's a decent free agent, zoop, zap it up. Zoop, zap it up. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, oh, there's this great guy in Noah. Oh, he's been signed. There's this great guy in Ring. Oh, he's been signed. And I just think TNA needs to take chances on people. And they have before. Like I'm surprised Alpha Female didn't work out better. I thought that would have been a good shot. But then again, you got WWE guys that just give a fuck about their paydays. You think, and I don't mean to pick on these guys, but do you think any of them are going to put their job on the line and be like, oh, you should sign Yamato from Dragon Gate? They're not going to, because if Yamato fails, then they could be out of their guaranteed paychecks. So, and I think that's the biggest problem with TNA. They're more concerned about their jobs than making the product good. And I know that just from experience. That's not just fucking internet nerd talking. That's someone that knows, everyone in TNA, not named Dixie Carter, would rather keep their paycheck than take a risk and make it good. Should Roode turn heel? Clover Cole did not. Oh, I could see it. I mean, I think Bobby Roode is overall the best all-around wrestler. I think it's really hard to screw up the Bobby Roode character, heel or face. It's one of those. Bobby Roode is so talented at what he does. I believe he can do anything he wants. I think, like, people always talk, what if TNA goes out of business? What if? I think the only person that gets picked up is Bobby Roode. I think it's just, I can't say enough good things about Bobby Roode. Should he turn heel? If that's what they need him to be. But I think there's nothing Bobby Roode can't do. I'm that high on Bobby Roode, And Blood Assassin said I meant Storm. Okay, no problem. No worries. Appreciate the comments. All right. Let's wrap this bad boy up. I'm just going to check comments real quick. While I check the comments, American Alicord, give your last thoughts on Impact and tell everyone where they could find you.
Last thoughts on Impact. Solid show. Wrestling, always a good thing. And I look forward to next week with the. I think they announced the tag team tournament. I look forward to that. So yeah, I think that, yeah. So TNA continuing on, not doing bad shows. I think that's the best way you can put it. TNA keeping a solid pace. It goes from good to fucking awesome to okay, it's good. So as long as they don't go into the fucking horrible, it's going to be good. I think that won't happen unless they re-sign Hogan and let him get full creative control. So yeah.
So yeah, it should be interesting, and they're making the steps in the right direction. So hopefully it keeps improving, and hopefully they pick up some guys that shock us. So I don't know. I'm hoping. It's the thing is, Impact TNA as a whole has been up and down its whole career, and it's just I hope they finally got it right. I hope they finally get it right. That's just me. All right. So please check out our blog, KocoSports.net. Jerry, Cooey, Rob, the whole gang has been busting their ass to make it better. We're hoping to improve it. We also have a super duper secret project. Hopefully that works out. And like, comment, subscribe. We try to do one or more shows a day. We really appreciate it. And the live audience feeling a little weird about this show. Usually the live audience gives us good feedback. We had 5 thumbs up, and then it went down to 4 and 2 thumbs down. And you know what? Can I be real for a second? Let's talk about this. TNA. This is no. When we review NXT, WWE, New Japan, if we talk shit about it, no one thumbs downs it. When we talk shit about TNA, people are like, oh my god, doesn't matter if you said it was a win. You said something bad, I'll thumbs down it. Here's the problem with that. This is why there's not as many TNA reviews. You're like, oh, I wish more people reviewed TNA. I wish more people reviewed the indies. I wish more people reviewed the product I like. Well, here's the problem. If you're like, oh, wow, here's a review show. They review it every week. Oh, they said something bad. I fucking hate them. I disagree. You are eliminating why people don't talk about your own product. That's it. That's the fucking truth. You know what I mean? And it's just sad. It's sad that we live in that world. A lot of times people are like, oh, you should review more indies. Or you should review more TNA. And like, why? It gets less views, and then the people that really love TNA, they don't want to hear anything bad. Like, overall, we said week win, worth checking out. And people are like, that's not enough. You have to say it's the greatest ever. And then you're like, why doesn't anyone review TNA? And you're like, 1 + 1 = come on. You fucking get your shit together. Alright, so please like, comment, subscribe. Check out KocoSports.net. Check out The American Alucard, THEE, American Alucard. American Alucard, thank you. Internet Infantry, thank you. And I'm going to refresh one time, and no comments. No! I should have just ended the show! KocoSports.net. With that, I am over. Boom, 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 boom.